Alrighty, I'm back. It's good to be here and it's good to be heard. This is the Teacher Says podcast, and this is Says. We're going to have a short episode today, just in the name of consistency and keeping you all updated on what's going on. Wanted to update you on a few items going on right now. Let's see. The main item I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, Financial Peace University, FPU, has finally come into fruition in my life. I have attended the classes, or at least one lesson out of, I believe it's either 8 or 10. I can tell you the exact number in the show notes. I guess it's kind of veiled in mystery, so I guess I'm not supposed to tell too much of what goes on, but you are expected to buy the workbook, which gives you access to Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University platform, which appears to be membership only or member only. You'd have homework, assignments, lots of testimonials, and tears. But it's an overall great message on how to get your financial house in order. So, how can you lose? Great message. So, if you have not checked it out, go online and find a class in your area. The classes tend to be, from what I've gathered, in faith-based buildings, like churches, which is fine with me. It doesn't, I go to church, so it works out either way, but just keep that in mind. There is a touch of like faith-based notions and ideologies in his teachings, but if that's not your thing, it's still not overwhelming or overpowering, so you can definitely still pick up a lot of gems. Yeah, and there's that. Moving forward, a lot of our episodes have been really short. Very happy to announce in the horizon there are some plans for having guests, and I'm super excited about that. It's been kind of like hard to get guests as far as our schedules coordinating, as in Ludacris says. But, I'm glad that seems to be something that can happen. And by the way, if there's any background noise or anything, this is a ride-along episode. I have learned to get in where I can fit in with these podcast episodes. So sometimes I'm in the studio, sometimes I'm in my bedroom, and of course we have ride-alongs. So today's the ride-along as I go and pick up my kids. Another adventure that I would love to take my podcast audience on is investing. And I am not a financial guru. I am learning as I go along. And then giving you my 2 cents during the process. So I've learned a lot about Vanguard, Roth, 401ks, and I feel Roth 401k. Oh, anyway, whatever way you say it. But the point is, I feel like I'm late to the party. I'm over 40, slightly over 40, but over 40 nevertheless. And I'm very quick to go onto YouTube, and a lot of the YouTubers in the financial field are like, I got started when I was 20, I'm like, well, transparent moment. When I was 20, I was out clubbing and partying. Not exactly good now, but it was fun then, and I can't lie, So investing was the last thing on my mind back then. I felt like it was a long time, I was going to be a long time before I could retire, and just didn't think about it. I was too busy trying to get in the club before 11 for free. So, yeah. Now, 20 years later, I wouldn't be caught dead in anyone's club, too old, and much rather learn about investing late at night when everyone's in bed and whatnot. So you live, you learn, it happens, what have you. So that's where we stand right now. It's my understanding you have to put in $1,000 to get started. And yeah, do I have $1,000 to put in? Well, yeah. Do I really want to put in right now when I have so many bills to pay and credit card debt, which is where we're on my journey right now with the podcast. I'm telling you all, I have buku debt in credit card, paying it down during the podcast episodes. Have paid it down slightly, not really enough to be very impressive. How am I paying my credit card down? That is an excellent question. We're going to get into that in a moment, but let me go back into the Roth IRAs. So when it comes to that, I wish, and I'm sure somebody in my audience can maybe point me in a direction where you could invest a little bit, because if they were like, oh, put in $100, $200, oh, no problem, I could do that. But 1,000 in one swoop at this time, not sure that's going to happen. But at any rate, that's what I want to do. So jumping back into credit card debt. So the good news is I only have one credit card. When I got my first credit card, and sometimes even though I made the comment how much I was into like clubs and partying when I was in my early 20s, I was actually a little bit more responsible with money, if that makes any sense. Like, I only had one credit card, and I was really good about paying it off immediately. Like, if I charged something, I would pay it off. Like, my credit card was excellent until I got into my mid to late 20s, and then that's when the snowball debt effect started, where I just started owing more and more and more. So now I'm at the stage where I'm going to pay it off, and the question is, how am I paying off my credit card? That is a good question. I think the number one answer is cutting back on some things that I really enjoyed for me, but it's worth it. For example, the past couple of years I did not even weekly nail trips or trips to the nail salon, but like once a month, once maybe every 3 weeks. That is not happening anymore. I just had a birthday, so I want to go next week during President's Weekend, and I probably will, but that would be the first trip in several months, probably since the Christmas season. So I cut back on that, cut back on getting my hair professionally done, getting my hair colored, which I didn't really get it done too often anyway. I only go to get my hair colored pretty much once every season, so 4 times a year. Shopping at places, grocery shopping on a budget, and then shopping at places that are relatively inexpensive. Like, I think knowing me, I've probably mentioned it on the podcast before how much I love Aldi's. First time I went, I was put off by a lot of things I didn't understand. Like, you had to put a quarter in the shopping cart, and I was like, oh, no. Didn't realize you would get it back. And then a lot of their, their store brand items, which honestly, I don't have a problem with buying generic. I do that quite a bit. It was just the fact I had never heard of any of these, generic brands and all these, but, it is my understanding they're European based, and I guess it comes from Europe. I don't know, whatever the case may be, it's pretty good. I can't complain. So I do that. Pack my kids' lunch, even though they both love to buy school lunches. So we kind of came to a happy medium on that. Because I knew school lunches can really add up. They have the free lunch program pretty much everywhere. And I hate saying this because it sounds like I'm so like, hey, but we don't qualify in my household for free lunch. So I pack their lunches Monday through Thursday, and because they like to eat school lunch, Friday is the day I let them buy school lunch. So it's kind of like, okay, compromise. You get your school lunch on Friday, I pack it Monday through Thursday. So that works and cuts down on costs. Same thing with myself. Drastically cut down on costs. I mean, I never had an issue with buying lunch out anyway. I always pack my lunch. Always. But some things I used to do in the past, I don't do any longer. For example, Friday mornings, I would allow myself to go and get a breakfast from McDonald's on the way to work. I don't do that anymore. Cut down on Starbucks for the most part. I used to make weekly trips. And when I say weekly, literally like once a week. That's pretty much non-existent anymore. I just use my Keurig machine at home. I drink 2 cups of coffee a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the late afternoon, because I got to keep, keep the party going for the kids. You know what I'm saying? So there's that, and that cuts down on costs. Eating out, and the sad thing is we didn't really eat out that much in the first place, but I would say carry out was kind of an issue. We make the vast majority of our meals at home, but we would allow ourselves carry out on Friday, Saturday, especially before I had kids. We would eat out quite a bit, but even when we did have kids, we cut down on eating out, but we would carry out Friday, Saturday, like pizza and stuff. Chinese food, that's pretty much non-existent now. We get Friday is always pizza night, and we'll either get it from Aldi's or Domino's has a really good discount on pizza on Friday. Well, I think it's every day. Just make sure you get the app and look at the promos they have. Another thing, promo code for I don't think I've ever given this little gem. Anytime I shop online, I Google promo codes to see what I can put in the box. I mean, the box is there for a reason now. So, I looked that up. I had to give up my over 10-year membership of Massage Envy because I simply wasn't using it. I had like so many credits on massages. I just didn't have the time to go. So I gave that up. I figured if I want a massage, I'll just gonna have to get something off of Groupon. And that'll cut down on costs. The one that hurts me the most, though, I will admit, is I have cut down on, like, my I can never say his esthetician. Yes. My eyebrows and yeah, that part hurts because I don't really like to take care of my own eyebrows. It brings back horrible memories of when I was high school and I plucked my eyebrows way too thin. So now I still go, but I go like once every 6 weeks or something. It's not a long period of time where my eyebrows look a mess, but in the name of saving money, I guess it's necessary. So all of that has helped cut down on spending and freeing up more money to pay off debt. I will say, in addition to the side hustles that I have, I make a couple dollars here and there with my testimonials, reviews, selling items on eBay. I definitely wish I could be more consistent with that. Then in addition to side hustle, Saturday mornings I have a job, super simple job, make a little extra income. Then I have potential money where I'm sitting on something right now. I don't know. I'm gonna save what I'm sitting on for another episode because I'll get into that a little later. So, yeah, that's all I have going on now. And I am going to be doing a giveaway really soon. And when I say I'm going to be doing a giveaway, like I have the items I'm going to give away. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to go about doing this because I'm excited. I'm almost up. My listenership is growing and definitely would like more corresponding, interaction. I guess, no, not corresponding, interaction with my listeners. Wish I could have, it's kind of sad because like in my budget I don't have money for a VA, which is a virtual assistant. At one time I did, and I'm very transparent, and I've explained what happened with that situation. If not, I'll tell you. A few years ago, it's about 4 or 5 years ago, I was, and I believe I mentioned this before, but I was working with VIP Kid. I was teaching. I was driving my 15-year-old car. I had a lot of extra income to play with. So at the time, I hired a VA. I had my website built. All was good for a couple of years. Then last year, was it last year? Well, recently, I purchased a new car, not necessarily because I wanted to, but my prior car was getting very old, and I was getting paranoid about it breaking down. Bought a full-size SUV. I have a lot of car people in my family, and they were like, you must buy a new car. I honestly did not quite agree with it, but I went ahead and went with the car people and did it. Don't really regret it, because I like having my car, and it's very spacious. It's something that my kids can grow into. but it took a nice chunk of the money I had before to, hire VAs and all that. And I outsourced. My VAs weren't from the United States, they were from the Philippines. So that cut down drastically on, all the things that I was doing beforehand and regarding promotions and whatnot. So it truly is a one-woman operation right now, and everything happens so slowly. So I've been listening to a lot of YouTubers, and number one thing I agree with is I have to organize my time a little bit better. Because, when you have limited time, you just have to figure out what you're going to do with that. So that's about it for this week. Just a quick update. I am really going to... No, I'm not. I was going to lie to you and say I'm going to try. But no. Like Yoda says, you either do or you don't. You don't try. Please don't sue me, George Lucas, for mentioning Yoda. But in any case, I will have an episode out this week. And that's about it. So quick hello. What's going on? What's up? And the Teacher Obsessed podcast is out.